Yeah, but the lighting. Oh, there we go. Okay, I had to zoom in a little bit.
You got it?
Yeah, you're good. Oh!
What is going on, everybody? Gino coming at you again with another Toyota Celica video, and this time I have my beautiful special girlfriend Tiana as my camera girl. And today we're just gonna get the Celica ready. I'm gonna work on it. It's got some kind of a vacuum leak going on. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, so I thought I'd just give a little update on what's going on with it. The weather's starting to get really nice out now versus before. Winter was kind of crappy, so I couldn't do much work on it. So I'm gonna cut this box open. They're like drive up ramps, and I'm gonna put the battery in the car, see if it still runs, I hope. And yeah, I'm gonna put it up on the ramp and get to work.
That would definitely be easier with scissors.
Work harder, not smarter.
I don't think that's how it... Ow! What are you doing?
Battery back on. It's cold!
I know!
Alright.
Oh! You want me to guide you? Oh, this ain't gonna go well. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Go a little bit more. Stop!
So when the car actually warms up, it gets like a little bit of a vacuum leak. Like the RPMs stay at 2,000 for some reason, and when they get to 2,000 and the car's fully warm, they like hesitate. That go up a little, down a little, kind of like a vacuum leak. So I'm gonna start it up again and get it to operating temperature, and I'm gonna spray some places with maybe some carb cleaner or brake cleaner or something like that to see if the RPMs rise when I spray, like places where gaskets usually go, and see if I can find any leaks. If not, I bought a leak down tester, and I bought a vacuum tester, so I'd have to tee into a vacuum source and it'll tell me what vacuum source is coming from. I'm gonna still spray it down with some carburetor, like ether, in some of the places, and see while it's warming up if it has any. It gets starting fluid when the car is running.
Go again, yeah.
So see what it's doing. If the idle went down, see what it's doing.
You can hear it.
So I constantly think I fix this issue, but then the issue always comes back. And I gotta figure out what the heck is causing it. So I got some starting fluid, and I'm gonna spray in kind of the places where vacuum leaks happen, and see if I can find something. But never spray it directly into the intake, because it'll either kill it or it'll backfire in your face. You don't want to do that. When I changed the intake on the car, it started running worse. I have the factory intake right there. I'm going to swap them over really quick and see if it makes a difference, because for some reason with these Celicas, they tend to run funny when you change the intakes on them, and I'm not too sure on why. So I just threw the factory airbox in, and I guess these have like more restriction, because when you have too much flow into the engine, they kind of don't know how to run. I just threw it in there. I didn't really bolt it down or anything, just to see if it changes anything.
No.
So the clips you just saw was me working on my Celica about a month and a half ago. A lot has changed. Right behind the camera, I built a shed and put like a bunch of spare parts in it. I cleaned out the entire shed, but not a whole lot has changed with the Celica. Now, I've been so busy with school, like incredibly busy, and I'm still not even done yet, and now it's like 10 times harder because I have way more assignments now that I'm being taught from home because of all the stuff that's going on with this virus and everything like that. So, like, I even have homework to do now. But I do want to work on my stuff. I can't keep putting it off any longer. I really want to get my stuff done, like really badly. So that's why I kind of prepared my shed. The Celica is all set up, and I got that shed and put all the stuff in it. And I mean, when I left off on the Celica, I think I was checking for vacuum leaks. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a vacuum gauge up to a vacuum source on the car and see if it's got the right amount of vacuum. I'm thinking it could be a vacuum leak. If not, I'm going to keep looking around. I'm pretty much going to revert the car back to stock because I think when I was trying to bolt on the aftermarket stuff, I kind of just screwed it up. This is my first project car. I am familiar with fixing cars. It is what I go to school for, but like I look back a couple months from now and I'm like, wow, that was a really stupid decision. Why did I do that? And it's because plans change and they're not always going to be exactly how you plan them out to be. And I do have kind of a set plan in my head of what I want to do with this car. I do want to keep this engine and build this motor eventually one day. And I want to keep the car the way it is right now. But let me just start by, checking for vacuum and reverting the car back to stock. Fine, there's no leaks at the intake manifold or anything, but when the car hesitates like that, now it's running really weird. When the car hesitates like that, the vacuum gauge goes and moves towards late timing. So I'm going to adjust the distributor as the car is on and see if that does anything, or see if that like either brings down the idle or makes it run smoother. I don't know. It is pouring smoke out the back of the tailpipe. So could it be a valve that's all carboned up and not sealing? Could it be an intake valve, an exhaust, well, probably maybe exhaust valve, maybe it's not combusting right. I'm not too sure. Could it be a melted piston? I have no fucking idea. I'm really trying to figure this out here. So I just took apart the EGR valve, and this is all carbon buildup. That might have clogged the EGR valve from opening and closing. Holy crap. See that black ring? That's all carbon that's just like caked on there. Now I'm wondering if the EGR valve is stuck open. I don't really know how to check. I'm gonna take this off right here to see if I can see something inside, but other than that, I think I would need to have to get a new EGR valve. So it's actually been a couple days. Where I left off was I was doing the EGR valve on the Celica, but I actually put that on hold for a second because I'm assembling a workbench inside my shed so I can put like a bench vise and a sanding wheel on it, as you can see. So this is the workbench. I organized this entire thing. This is my girlfriend's thing. She's making like a little, sorry about that guys, my camera just died. But all in all, so yeah, I just have to put this bench thing I have together, and when I'm done doing that, I'm going to start working on the Celica again. I have to get, see my bench vise right here? Not my bench vise. I bought a bench vise, but see my grinding wheel? I want to get, I'm sure these are like interchangeable. I want to get like a sanding wheel one, and I don't want like this front part of the cover on it, so I can like clean things off, because I don't want to install that EGR valve the way it is. I want to get like a sanding wheel, clean it up, paint it, and then put it back on. So that's what I want to do, but I don't know where to get the disc for it. I'm gonna look it up and see if they have it at like Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. So my sister bought this like mango cranberry citrus drink, and it's like sugar free and everything, pretty much free of everything. I'm gonna try it. Who drinks this evil stuff? That is the grossest thing. Alright, so I just finished my workbench. Bless you. I just finished my workbench, and now that I have that sanding wheel installed on the bench, I am going to clean up my EGR valve and get all the crap and rust off of it. I'm going to paint it and clean up all the carbon deposits that I have in it. I couldn't find a wire brush that I could put on a drill bit and go inside the pipe, but I'm going to probably grab a piece of wire and wrap some sandpaper around it, and it'll do the same exact thing, just so I can clean all the carbon out of the pipe. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm just going to use a little light layer of RTV around the gasket. I would use, if you're reusing that kind of gasket, it's a metal gasket, I would just replace it, or I would use like copper spray or something like that. But since I forgot to buy copper spray and the parts store is going to close soon, I'm just going to rub a little bit of RTV on it, and it should be good. It's not like it's a super high pressure area where it'll blow out. I mean, it might, who knows. But yeah, I'm gonna plug her back in and see what she does. I did free up the EGR valve, like I pushed it in a bunch of times, I lubed it up, I got it to move, and it moved pretty smoothly. If this doesn't work, I'll probably replace it, and if I replace it and it still doesn't work, this car is a mystery to me. So I'm just gonna give it a shot with what I have now, and I'll catch you guys in a second when I put it back on the car. So it's pretty late at night. It's like around 10 o'clock. I think the last time I recorded was yesterday, because I've been trying to work on the car like all day, and I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm really trying to figure it out. I tried changing the map sensor. That didn't work. So right now, it's really hard to diagnose these 90s cars, because we're so used to just plugging in an OBD2 in scanning like what's wrong. Yes, one day I will tear this engine out and get rid of everything I don't want and just have an engine and a transmission. But for right now, just trying to get it running is pretty difficult because you're trying to make all these old components work together that aren't like the best in the best of shape because they're old and they're original. But I'm gonna try and do a running compression test. What that will tell me is if one of my valves are carboned up or just not sealing properly. And if that's true, then the head of the engine I'll need to take off. And I'm actually 110% okay with that. I just want to know what the hell the problem is so I can fix it. That's the only thing that's been bothering me. So that I'm going to do. I'm going to do a running compression test. Make sure when you do a running compression test, you take the Schrader valve out of your compressor tester because it will melt it, and I'm sure you don't want to do that. It's not a big deal because you can get another one for pretty cheap, but try to avoid that. So I'm gonna start with the first cylinder and see what I get. Cranking compression is good, but as it's running, I'll be able to see it fluctuate more, and that'll tell me a pretty good test of how the valves are.